A YouTuber just released an independently funded horror film, and it didn't just come out quietly, it made some noise. No major studio, no franchise IP, no cinematic universe. Just a creator, his crew, a camera, and a terrifying indie game adaptation. This is Iron Lung, directed by Markiplier, and whether you loved it or had issues with it, it represents something important for independent filmmaking. So going into this, I had no idea who Markiplier was. I may have seen some of his videos in passing while scrolling through YouTube, but Markiplier is one of the biggest gaming creators on YouTube, known for horror games, long-form playthroughs, and highly produced content. But instead of staying inside YouTube, he decided to make a feature film. Not just star in it, but write it, direct it, and finance it himself. The reported budget sits around $3 million, independently funded, which is rare for a first-time feature director without a studio backing. And when Iron Lung released, it didn't just quietly drop. It started showing up in entertainment headlines and box office discussions. What makes this even more interesting is how hands-on the project was. Markiplier didn't just attach his name to this, he built the project around himself as a creator, writer, director, and lead actor. Most of the film centers on his performance inside a confined submarine set, with supporting roles largely through voice performances. In my opinion, that's a pretty risky move, but maybe that's coming from someone who doesn't really do acting. I'm usually more comfortable behind the camera, so to be like the main lead actor has got to be a lot of pressure on yourself, but it also makes this project very personal to him. Now, going into the film, I had expectations, and my first viewing left me a bit conflicted. I wanted more answers, and I felt like certain mysteries stretched longer than they needed to. The runtime, in my opinion, could have been a little bit tighter, maybe closer to that 90-minute mark instead of the full length. But at the same time, I can't deny how well crafted parts of this were. The submarine set designs is incredibly convincing. The visual effects hold up surprisingly well, and the atmosphere, the claustrophobia, absolutely love it. Now obviously my opinions on this are coming from someone who had no idea what Iron Lung was even about. Like, I'd never played the game, I never saw Markiplier play through the game. I had absolutely zero idea on the story or what it was based off. When I started looking into the game this was inspired from, Iron Lung actually began as a small indie horror game. Minimalistic, atmospheric, and built almost entirely on tension and imagination. Markiplier played it on his channel 3 years ago, and you can almost see the spark of inspiration there. The game opens up with a premise that's instantly cinematic. I mean, right as you start the game, they kind of give you this opening shot here so you can read about the story, which I'm going to go ahead and read right now. Decades ago, every known star and habitable planet vanished, leaving only those who were on space stations or starships. This event became known as the Quiet Rapture. With supplies dwindling and infrastructure crumbling, survivors are searching for any trace of natural resources in a universe of barren moons, lit by the ghost light of vanished stars. One such moon holds a strange anomaly, an ocean of blood. You are a convict, tasked with exploring this anomaly, in a makeshift submarine nicknamed the Iron Lung. It was not designed for this depth, so you will be welded inside and the forward window will be closed. There was no time for training. If successful, you earn your freedom. I mean, after reading that, it's one of those concepts that feels like it was waiting to become a film. Like, this is like a perfect story to actually make a short film based off of. Limited space, unknown threat, psychological dread. It's proof that indie games are becoming one of the most fertile idea sources for horror cinema. One thing that deserves real credit is the production effort. The submarine set wasn't just a prop, it was engineered for filming. The practical effects, especially the blood work, were pushed hard. There are reports about record-level quantities of fake blood being used. As a first-time feature director, the shot discipline, blocking, and performance direction are genuinely impressive. Now, the release wasn't without some controversy, including reporting issues around box office listings and data visibility before being corrected.
So this is funny. This is on Friday. the box office numbers, I'm number one, right? I milked it a lot. I said it. It was very funny. I knew that Sam Raimi's movie was going to pass me eventually by the end of the weekend, but I was like, haha, I'm number one. But then I didn't see this yesterday, but here's Saturday's. So this Saturday, right? I swear I was on this list, but Iron Lung isn't here anymore. I'm gone. I'm not even above Hamnet. I'm nowhere. Zootopia's back up here. Avatar's up here. Melania's up here. I feel like I should just, like maybe I'd be fine with here. I'd be fine with being on the chart. Why'd you take me off the chart?
Independent films often face friction in tracking, distribution, and visibility compared to studio releases. Now, whether that was a clerical error or a reporting delay, it highlighted something important, and that matters when you're trying to prove indie projects can compete. This is bigger than one movie. Iron Lung represents a shift, where creator-driven projects can mobilize an audience and bring original stories to theaters. Now, when you read about this story, it does inspire you to go out there and make your own version, but you guys have to understand, Markiplier was on YouTube for a very long time, building a big audience. He wasn't just chasing subscribers and views, he was genuinely trying to connect with a larger audience, and when this movie was announced that it was being made, and he was trying to get it in theaters, he turned to his audience to ask them to call their local theaters and request the movie. And let me tell you, his audience actually showed up for him. Thousands of people called their local theaters requesting Iron Lung, and it went from 2,000 theaters to 4,000 plus theaters. And he was able to leverage this to push his movie to success. I think that's really important to understand.
Always having in my mind that I'm going to bring it to theaters. I am going to bring it to theaters because I believe it deserves to be in theaters. And I didn't think that it was going to be a lot of theaters, but I was going to bring it to theaters no matter what. That's wild. Yeah. Yeah. It's been so hard to juggle all of this for so long. I just never expected something like this.
We're also seeing indie games becoming source material for films because they often prioritize concept and atmosphere over scale. For indie filmmakers, this is encouraging. It shows that strong ideas, supported by a community, can break through traditional gatekeeping. My final thoughts, Iron Lung isn't perfect. I have pacing issues with it. I wanted more narrative payoff in certain areas. But as a first feature, independently made, it's undeniably successful. And more importantly, it's inspiring. I didn't even come into this as a Markiplier follower, but I walked away respecting the commitment it took to bring this vision to life. I want to see what he does next, and I hope more creators take risks like this. I didn't know what I was getting into when I saw this, and it was actually a really late showing. I think it was a 10 o'clock showing. But after leaving the theater and just kind of thinking about the movie over and over again, I really want to see it a second time now that I know what to expect and kind of look out for these little details that I may have missed. And maybe see it not so late so I'm not so tired, but I definitely want to check this movie out one more time. And not only that, but I really appreciate the fact that Markiplier is pushing for a physical release. When this comes out on Blu-ray, I think I'm definitely going to buy this and add this to the collection. So let me ask you guys, do you think creator-funded movies are the future of indie film, or is this just a rare exception? If you enjoy film analysis and indie cinema discussion, consider subscribing. I cover projects exactly like this.